So I'm trying to take all the pressure from making a certain kind of content and just start the vlog straight away, like with no idea how this is going to go. I'm just going to take you along with me to like a normal day in my life. It is 16th of May, Friday, so it is the last day of my work week. Today I'm working from home as I'm usually doing, but something that is really exciting. Let me take the cat away from the table. What is unusual about this workday is that I'm making sourdough today. I'm prepping it so I can bake it tomorrow. And something that has been bringing me so much joy this week is that for the first time in my life, I have like a really active starter. I forgot my starter in the fridge for like 2 months. And then I started working it up, I think Sunday, and I was a little bit desperate. But finally, we have reached the state that I'm almost ready to bake, and I'm really excited. For some reason, I have had the luxury of having the whole apartment to myself for several weeks. Like in the mornings and middays, and it helps me a little bit to focus on work. This week I have had a little bit of a rubbish week in general. Last week I was sick. A week before that I was on holiday in Turkey, and then I didn't really recover from all the traveling last week because I was sick. And I was unwise with recovering from the sickness because I just had like a really basic flu, no fever or anything. And I just kept working and living my life. That wasn't a wise decision. So I feel only this week I have started recovering from all the traveling, because basically when we came back from Turkey, it was like 24-hour traveling day. It wasn't nice. I have been feeling quite exhausted, but I have been starting to get like solid 9 or 8 hours of sleep, and I'm starting to feel like a new person. Today I'm going to be prepping my sourdough. I am currently prepping work-wise for a conference paper. So I have conference in the middle of June. It is my first conference paper, and from that paper and presentation I'm going to be writing my first article. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm basically doing some basic research for the paper. I could babble on endlessly and put off starting to work. It's actually like 10:30 because I decided to sleep longer, and I'm just starting to get ready for the workday. So yeah, I'm going to start working now. Okay, so it's around 7 o'clock. I have washed my hair, had dinner, and I have been making sourdough, and it's looking such a beautiful. I'm currently doing like the folding part, so now I have flour everywhere. So I'm going to fold this one more time, and then I'm going to wait until maybe 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock before dividing this, because I think it will make 2 breads, at least the recipe says so. Then I'm going to prepped them and put them on the fridge to go and stay there for the night. Making this bread has been making me so happy today. I have been really tired today. Honestly, didn't do like a whole lot of. I'm reading a research book called Tree Studies in, was it Medieval Religious and Social Thinking? I have read a chapter on Mary and Martha, and now I'm reading a chapter on the imitation of Christ. Yeah, and then my flatmate came home. We went and shopped some dinner. We had pizza. It has become a habit to have a pizza Friday because we don't bother to cook on Friday nights. So yeah, we had some pizza and now I'm just going to chill for the rest of the evening. So I'm basically reading, I think, like 8 books currently. I might do like a proper reading update at some point, but yeah, I think I'm reading, like listening to like 3 audiobooks, and then of course I have like several research books, and yeah, I'm reading a lot of books currently. But I'm reading this Finnish romance book because I have a book club meeting next week on Wednesday. I'm a little bit hesitant about this. This has been compared to books like Bridgerton. This is a Finnish book, but it does take its time in 19th century England. I want to try to read this before the book club. So I'm going to dig into this because I'm not completely sure how much reading I will be doing this weekend. Tomorrow I have quite many plans. I'm going to go for coffee at my friend's place. They had a baby like maybe a month ago, and I want to cuddle that baby and have coffee, and then it's Eurovision night, so yeah, it's like socially really busy weekend, but yeah, I'm going to chill now and read. So I'm firstly going to fold this and then read. Okay, both of them are ready and they turned out to be such an excellent bread. This one I didn't cut like deep enough. I tried a razor blade and it didn't work, and with this I just used a regular knife. So definitely need to use a regular knife. But they look really beautiful. This I will leave for my flatmates, and this I will take with me on the go. I'm so happy about how they look. Okay, let's have a chat. I look really pretty today. I'm trying to say that kind of things aloud to myself on the days that I actually feel that, because I still do struggle with body image and identity when it comes to like how I look. But I washed my hair today morning and I feel alive, finally. I don't remember when was the last time I updated you. Probably when I was baking the bread, which was last Friday, and now it is Thursday. I have been having quite a lot of like sleeplessness again for a couple of weeks, and that just makes me feel quite rubbish, because when I do sleep like a couple of nights really badly, it affects my mental health, it affects my physical health. So yeah, I've been struggling for a couple of weeks and it has a really big impact on my mood. I feel I'm a little bit in a rut when it comes to creating. And I have been keeping thinking about like why I do have such a big struggle of creating content, and this goes to also like Instagram. And I think I found the problem during the time that I was away from YouTube, or honestly social media in general, like last year. I have changed a lot during like a couple of years. I have grown more confident. I have changed a lot what I choose to do in my life, what kind of life choices I do, what kind of life I want to live. YouTube was a really big part of my identity for many years. Partly because I was so alone that creating content and belonging to a community was so important to me, that I kind of gave everything to it. And I have been struggling with that because the person I was like a couple of years ago is completely different person that I am right now. And I honestly, this year I feel I am ready to let go of so many things that have been bothering me for a long time. And I feel I'm finally starting to find myself and finding the person I'm proud of being. I'm kind of in the middle of change, and that is why it's hard to be present and create content, because looking back at the videos I created before, I feel they don't represent who I am currently, but that was the person I was. I don't know what I want to do with that person that I was. That is why I decided to put almost all of my videos on private. I didn't delete them. I'm kind of having a really positive identity crisis, because I was used to, like I said, I used to share so much. Now I am constantly thinking what I want to share, where I'm pouring myself into. I'm having like a constant inner battle with that, like inner battle with who I was and who I am and who I'm aiming to be. And that is probably why I'm finding it so hard to film stuff, because I really want to film stuff. I want to have this kind of discussions. I want to talk about books I'm reading, showing nice things in my life that I'm proud of, because I'm really proud of the life I'm creating currently, the life I'm living, the choices I am making for my well-being, well-being of people around me. I want to show that. And one thing that I have realized that is really hard for me is showing people how things are incomplete, but things will always be incomplete. And I can't wait to be here, to be able to do stuff that I enjoy doing. So I kind of needed to get this out of my system, because I really have enjoyed watching booktube content recently, like that, especially that kind of that combines like academia and reading and life. And I want to create that kind of content. I want to create that content as a person I am. I am in the middle of work day. Yesterday I went to a book club meeting. I have really missed like being in a book community. That is what I missed quite a lot, like last year, especially last year, because I was so exhausted, so depressed, that I didn't have like capacity be social. But I'm starting to enjoy those things very much. So yeah, I did finish that romance book I started on Friday. It wasn't steamy until the very end, so that was nice. It was like a good solid read. I feel I really need some escapism currently, like to balance out what I'm working. I'm reading a lot about medieval theologians' way of thinking about women. I'm reading a research book on Mary Magdalene. It's called The Making of Magdalene. And sometimes that research book makes me so furious because I'm starting to feel like the reason why a lot of people think that Christianity is based on misogyny is actually based on what people wrote. I'm just going to say that aloud. I'm trying to find like a lot of nice things in between. The weekend was really nice. I didn't really like Eurovision. I didn't like any of the music, but I had a really nice Sunday, like a really chilled out Sunday, and the bread was excellent, and I want to bake things again. I'm going to continue doing the research, reading. Next week I have a deadline for another research proposal. I'm really looking forward that after that, probably I don't have to write any funding proposals before autumn. Like, I just focus on writing my article for summer, and that's nice. I thought I would talk to you about books I'm currently reading. I'm reading a million books currently, but two that I'm actively reading physically. I'm rereading The Lonely City, Adventures in the Art of Being Alone by Olivia Lang. This is an essay collection that I read when I was really lonely, like way back. And I remember really enjoying this. I have been really enjoying reading like non-fiction, autobiographical stuff written by women where they go through like femininity in this world. This is like a really good book on loneliness, especially when you are lonely in the middle of the city, like how isolating loneliness can be. These are essays about art and artists. I probably won't enjoy this as much as I did before, but I'm finding it really insightful how Olivia Lang talks about loneliness, how isolating it can be, and how it is the worst feeling in the world, honestly. A book that I'm really curious about and enjoying is Elizabeth Gilbert's The Signature of All Things. I actually started this on a plane when we came back from Turkey, but I read only tiny bits because I slept most of the plane. But after that, I have been reading this and I have been really enjoying this so much. It is like 19th century historical fiction. We follow a daughter of charismatic botanical explorer. She's called Alma. She falls in love with a woman who draws her in the opposite direction, into the realm of spiritual, the divine, and the magical. I'm already like halfway through, and it's just so captivating. I have been like reading this in the bed and not wanting to go fall asleep. This is so captivating currently. I'm also listening to like 3 audiobooks. I'm listening to Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien, narrated by Andy Serkins to fall asleep. So I have to say that I'm not paying a lot of attention on the like what I'm listening, but mostly just Andy Serkins' voice just calms me down so well. And then I'm reading a couple of non-fiction books. I'm reading Escaping the Enemy Mode. It is a science non-fiction about brain and the term enemy mode. The writers are Christian, so they also talk about like it's from the Christian point of view. But I have been listening to podcasts from James Wilder, who is the other author in the book, and he wrote a book on brain and joy and church, and I have that book on Kindle, so I'm hoping that at some point when I get my Kindle back from my friend, I'm going to read that book, but I am really enjoying the Escaping to Enemy Mode, and a book that I have been listening to for so long is The Body Keeps Score. I think that is the title. That I have been reading for months and months. It is quite hard hitting, so I'm listening to it in chunks. I'm learning so much, and it's really interesting. So those are the books that come to my mind currently. I probably need to get back to work. I just enjoyed babbling to you a little bit. I'm aching for another coffee, but one thing that I have realized is that coffee makes my anxiety go worse. So I'm trying to limit myself to 1 cup of coffee per day. So I'm not drinking coffee in the morning because it makes me nauseous. So I'm having like a cup of coffee after lunch. I make myself iced latte, and I'm trying to fight back with the urge of making myself another coffee. This is a willpower that I need for this day. I have quite a nice weekend planned. Saturday we are going to have a brunch, and then I'm hoping to go on a run. I have been really loving running. I just love running currently, and it calms my mind down. It's a perfect thing to do after a badly slept night. Yeah, but I also hope I will get a lot of like relaxing done during the weekend. I'm also trying to pay attention to resting. So Sundays are for rest. This Sunday I'm resting with a couple of my friends, and that is also nice. But yeah, brain is not braining today with work, but I'm going to go back and listen to good music and read. I think I'm going to take you along with me today because I thought I would film like a final proper reading update for this vlog and then end this vlog. But then I thought I would just film more content. So it is 3rd of June, and it feels really odd that I'm wearing like wool dress in June. But it's honestly so cold, partly because we left one of our windows open for the night, but it's like 10 o'clock. I usually don't start my workday this late, but I was just feeling so tired today, and then I decided to take a shower because I was cold. I needed to wash my hair, and yeah, now I'm starting to do some work. I made myself a cup of tea because I'm still trying to limit myself to only 1 cup of coffee, so I'm not drinking coffee in the mornings. And I quite like drinking tea at the moment because it's so chilly. It has been raining quite a bit recently. Yeah, my current favorite tea is Southern Smoke. This is like an smoked Earl Grey. This is probably one of my favorite black teas. I think this is a Finnish brand. My friend always brings this to me because this is my favorite flavor from them. I have a couple of like really busy work weeks ahead because 2 weeks from now I have my first conference ever, and I'm giving a presentation and I need to start making the presentation. So the presentation I'm going to give is in a panel, and that conference presentation is the basis for the first article that I will be writing during the summer. So that is probably the biggest thing I will be working on like this year academically, and I'm really excited to like move ahead and start doing something properly. Last week I finished a final grant application of before autumn, and I feel just excited to focus on like actual work. I went to campus yesterday. It was like a really good start of the week because Mondays are always like quite meh for me. Today is Tuesday, and I'm luckily alone. I get like a really nice focus, hopefully. But I have been doing a lot of stress baking. Last week I just tried to do work and baked a lot. I have some rhubarb in the fridge because my friends moved and we needed to get some of their stuff from freezer, so I have rhubarb and I really want to bake something at some point this week, but I don't know if I'm going to make a jam or a pie because I have been baking so much that I probably shouldn't bake a pie. But I am going to start working and check up on you at some point. Also, I love the peony season, and we got some peonies when we went to grocery shopping on Sunday. I also really need to like sort out some of my plants. I want to repot this because it needs, and I probably also need to repot this. But otherwise, my plants are doing great. I actually tried out a new fertilizer for them on Sunday, and I'm really excited to see how they bloom. But yeah, my plants are like my pride and joy at the moment. They are just growing so beautifully. I don't know if the sound of the coffee machine is disturbing or calming, but I thought I would finish up my lunch break with a reading update, and I thought I would do like a good old monthly wrap up of all the books I read in May. I don't have a lot to say about many of these, so I think it will go through quickly. I read 8 books in May, and I thought I would tell you some of my thoughts about them. So firstly, I read A Passage to India by Ian Forster. I have been currently reading this for ages. I didn't really enjoy this. I think it was my least favorite of Ian Forster. I have enjoyed some of his books really much, but this I found a little bit confusing. Like, I just didn't get the sense of the plot at all. I ended up giving it 2.5 stars, and I was quite underwhelmed because I think this is the last Ian Forster novel I had left to read, and it was unfortunate that I didn't enjoy it. Then I have a Finnish non-fiction book by Pauliina Vanhatalo. It's called Toinen elämä, Another Life. Pauliina Vanhatalo talks about how she notices that she's getting older and trying to figure out who she is. It was interesting. I have really enjoyed reading autobiographical works, and I actually have like the 3rd book in that series out from library, and I have been enjoying this series. The first one was about her depression, and this was basically after she had recovered from her depression and just talking about what it means to be a woman. I realized I have read quite many like underwhelming books in May. 3rd book I finished was The Worcester Wilds by Lauren Croft. And again, I really didn't get along with this. I have loved Lauren Croft books quite a bit because they are historical fiction. They have a little bit like religious undertones, but with this mainly disturbing ones. It was around 300 pages, and I felt it would have worked so much better as like a novella or short stories. I don't even know what happened in this book. Like honestly, it was just like a feverish dream. I just don't know what happened. Like I think after this, I'm not very keen on picking up any book that Lauren Groff will write. And honestly, I have been starting to question if I like literary fiction that much anymore. So I give that 2.5 stars. And then I mentioned this book, I think in my first update. It is Lordi D ja muita seurapiirisalaisuuksia by Satu Tähtinen. It is the first book in a Finnish romantical book series set in Victorian England. I read this for book club, and I'm actually currently reading the second book because it was just so quick to go through. I didn't find it really steamy, which was a relief. I just found it, I think this is the first book that this author has ever written, and it really felt like a debut novel, like nothing special, like nothing really captivating yet, but I was intrigued by the second book. I'm not completely sure if I'm going to continue this series after the second book. They are really entertaining, really quick to go through, and basically just the kind of books you read to get your mind off things. So I ended up giving this 3 stars, and then I finally have a book to show you. Most of these I have read from library and I have returned them. I reread The Lonely City Adventures in the Art of Being Alone by Olivia Lang. I remember really loving this first time around. I read it when I was really lonely, and it was kind of a solace to go through this and read through this and realize that I am not that lonely anymore because I have people around me. I really loved Olivia Lang's writing style and how she talks about art, but also her own life. And I think I put on hold quite many of her non-fiction books from library, and I'm really interested of her latest one, which I think is about gardens. I didn't really know anything about these artists. I did know about Andy Warhol, but otherwise maybe I wasn't so keen on the the aspect of the artists and authors she talked about, but I really enjoyed the exploration of loneliness and how isolating it can be. So I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. Then we have The Signature of All Things by Elizabeth Gilbert. I started this on a flight back from Turkey, and I have been going slowly through this. The first part, like the first bit, was kind of a slog to get through, but I felt like when Alma White Tiger became more adult, it started speeding up. I found this quite unbalanced. Some of the parts were really captivating, some of them were quite a slog to get through. I found the religious aspect quite disturbing. It wasn't what I expected, and overall this book wasn't what I expected it to be. But I really loved the multi-layered characters. The characters were the best part of this book because we basically follow Alma through the entirety of her life. I really loved the scientific aspects of it because I have had a course on history of science in my master's degree, so it was really interesting to read this. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars, especially the ending. Like the last section was so underwhelming that I didn't really know what to think about this. And then this is the only research book I finished in May, and that is The Making of the Magdalene, Preaching and Popular Devotion in the Later Middle Ages by Katrin Ludwig Jansen. I don't usually rate research books, so I haven't given this a rating, but I thought it was really interesting, really good. I think it is quite approachable, so I wouldn't say that you need to be a scholar to read this. I really enjoyed the way Catherine Ludwig Jansen talks about the myth of Mary Magdalene, how in medieval ages she became quite a different person than in the Bible, because in like Middle Ages, Mary Magdalene was actually presented as a prostitute. She was also in a Catholic imagery. She was thought to be Mary of Bethany, the sister of Martha of Bethany and Lazarus of Bethany. It was just a really interesting look into late medieval religious thinking. It was also really good for my research. And then a book that I finished during the last day of May was Jouka Lomisalon Ihastumisoppi by Vehka Kurjemiekka. This is a brand new release in Finnish. It's like a feel-good fiction with fantasy. It's a little bit like I think like a urban fantasy with a really nice romance in it. I really love Vehka Kurjemiekka, and I haven't read a book that made me feel so good in ages. So I gave this 4 stars. So this was a quick run through books I have read, and I thought I would then talk quickly about books I am currently reading, mainly just books I'm actively reading through, because I have like a couple of audiobooks that I'm slowly going through. But like I mentioned, I'm reading the second book in the Finnish romance series. This follows the friend of the woman that we followed in the first book. This is a little bit more steamy. Nothing has really happened yet, but it's a lot more like an emotional one, and it has been really quick to get through, and I actually need to return this to library tomorrow, so I need to finish this. I think I have like 70 pages to get through, and I will definitely be finishing it today. I am reading The Ruthless Elimination of Harry by John Mark Comer. This is basically about how to stay emotionally healthy and spiritually alive in the chaos of the modern world. This is so good. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I'm trying not to hurry through this, so I'm basically in a section where John Mark Comer talks about the practices of Jesus that we need to follow to be able not to hurry in our life. This has so many gems of thinking, like how Jesus was really never in hurry. So the first part was about silence and solitude, and now it's about Sabbath, and then after that simplicity, and then slowing. Part 1 has been about the problem, like how hurry is the greatest enemy of spiritual life, and then part 2 was about solution, and it was how we only find the peace and quietness with Jesus, and going through the theological aspects of this book. And then in part 3 we have the practices. I felt I had a little moment of silence and solitude when I went for a walk today. I usually have like an hour-long lunch break, and sometimes I want to go for a walk, and it's a really beautiful weather outside. I didn't listen to anything when I was walking, and I just felt so grateful. It's so beautiful outside. Some of the trees are blooming, and I'm feeling really grateful. I really need to get back to work. Also, this is so cute, but she came to sit on my lap while I was filming this update. I think she's trying to get snacks, but she isn't getting any, like, for an hour or so. But she came to remind me that she exists. And she really enjoys when someone is working from home. Usually she isn't like this interested in me. She absolutely loves my flatmate. but now she's getting all my attention. Okay, so it is almost 6 p.m. I have been laying on the sofa and watching YouTube. I think I finished work like 4:30. I took a nap in between because I started getting so tired. Today was just mostly reading. So I'm almost finished with 3 studies in medieval religious and social thinking. I'm aiming to finish it tomorrow. I was also hoping that I would write a little bit of the paper, but I just felt like I didn't have enough brain focus today, so I just spent it mostly for reading so that tomorrow I will finish the book and still have time also to write. But yeah, I'm making dinner. We have some leftovers. I'm making crispy fish. I'm loving this. It's in the oven, and then I have some like oven vegetables that I made yesterday. There is this chickpeas, sweet potato and potato. And I think I'm going to put this also in the oven because I just don't want to put this in the microwave because it doesn't just taste good. After I have finished work, I have just been laying in bed in the sofa, spending a bit too much time on Instagram. I am just so annoyed how much time I'm spending on Instagram during the days. I am really tired. I will probably try not to go to Instagram today anymore and just focus on being present. So I've been watching YouTube videos and waiting the food to get ready. My flatmate is coming home like 6 o'clock, so that is why I'm making us the dinner ready. And then I think I'm just going to read for the rest of the day. I think because it's really beautiful outside, but it's also quite windy, but ideally I would like to go to the park to read because it looked really lovely, but I also don't know how cold it is. But those are the plans for the rest of the evening. I'm quite pleased how much I did get reading done despite being quite exhausted. Things are starting to look good. I feel I am starting to become so middle-aged when I'm talking about like how the coming of spring and summer just lighten up my mood. But honestly, this year I have felt that always when there is sunlight, more sunlight, I'm starting to feel more and more alive, and that's the thing that has been giving me so much joy today, because yeah, rainy days can be also quite moody when you are a little bit sad. I meant to finish this vlog like a couple of days ago, but then I didn't end up filming like a final clip. But I think it's about the time to end this vlog so that I will eventually get this edited. It's Friday, it's another work day. I just baked bread. It came out quite perfect. I haven't tasted it yet, but I am pretty sure it might be my best one yet. I'm going to continue working next week. Next week I have like a really intense work week, but I'm excited, and we will see when I end up vlogging. It might be really fun to do like first conference ever vlog. We will see. I hope you enjoyed this probably quite odd vlog. I would really love to know how you are doing. What are you currently reading? Like, how's life? I would really love to know. Have you read anything incredible recently? Just tell me what makes you happy currently, like at the moment. What makes you happy? Because something I have been trying to do in daily basis is to find joy in everything, and that is the last thing I'm going to talk to you about. Like, find a good thing in everything. It just changes the whole perspective in your life when you try to find something good, something beautiful in everything. But I hope you are doing good whenever you are watching this. We will see each other again at some point.